Hershey Park just opened their brand new RMC hybrid coaster, Wildcat's Revenge. So I thought, why not predict what Hershey Park's next roller coaster could be? Okay, guys, before I get into the video, I just want to talk about what I'm going to be predicting. So first, I'm going to be predicting what manufacturer and what model this will be. So I'll have 3 different manufacturers and 3 different models, I think, would be a good next coaster for Hershey Park. And then I'll be predicting where in the park this will go, like, what area of the park, what location. And then lastly, I'll be predicting what year this will open. So let's get right into it. Okay, guys, first I wanted to talk about B&M. So if you guys remember a while back, it was heavily rumored that Hershey Park had a 3-coaster contract with B&M. I don't know if that was true or not, but, for this video's sake, we'll say they do. So, and also, I think Hershey Park's next coaster could be a B&M, or maybe not next, but one of their next coasters, because Hershey Park loves working with B&M. Okay, guys, the first coaster from B&M I wanted to talk about is the B&M Surf Coaster. I know this is a very bold prediction, but hear me out. I mean, a lot of people, before they rode Pipeline the Surf Coaster at SeaWorld Orlando, they were like, oh, this is just going to be another stand-up coaster. But once they rode it, they were like, oh, this is actually a good coaster. So, I'd give like a 20% chance of Hershey Park ever getting this coaster, just because, it's a stand-up coaster. I don't know how Hershey Park feels about that. But for a location that Hershey Park could put this in, Chocolate Town would be a good one, wrapping around Candemonium. Or if they have the space in the boardwalk, that would be a great location, wrapping around slides and stuff. And for a year, I think this would open. I wouldn't think this would open until like 2026, just because, it's a big coaster. B&Ms take a while, because they're big coasters, expensive coasters. So if this would ever happen, the earliest I think we would see it would be 2026. So now moving on to the next coaster. Okay, the next coaster is a coaster that's been rumored to be Hershey Park's next coaster for a long time now. That is a B&M dive coaster. People for years have been saying it could replace Tidal Force, which that would be a good idea, but I don't think Hershey Park wants to do that. I think a better location for this would be in like Chocolate Town or something. But yeah. I'd say if they do get a B&M dive coaster, it could open up in 2025, just because it's not, like a prototype like the surf coaster, which, would take longer for Hershey Park to, like design and build and, and they also want to make sure that, like, it's reliable. So, like, I know Hershey Park knows that the B&M dive coaster is a reliable coaster. So, yeah, moving on to the next prediction. Okay, the last coaster from B&M I think Hershey Park could get is a B&M wing coaster. I don't really think Hershey Park, would get this as their next coaster. I don't really think this is a coaster Hershey Park needs. I'd give this probably about a 20% chance of happening. But, if it did happen, I'd be okay with it. Obviously this isn't the most, airtime filled, intense roller coaster. But it's I think the GP would love it. As for when it could open, I'd say it would probably open, if it was Hershey Park's next coaster, it would probably open in 2025, because I don't think Hershey Park's going to add anything in 2024. So the next coaster Hershey Park's going to get, I'd say, would be in 2025. As where this could go, really the only place it could fit would be Chocolate Town, because everywhere else there's not really much room, maybe, having some, like, hand and feet choppers around Candemonium, like some of the supports of Candemonium. But yeah, this would be a good coaster for Hershey Park. I don't know if Hershey Park needs it, but yeah, that's all of the coasters from B&M. So moving on to the next manufacturer. Okay, guys, the next manufacturer I think Hershey Park could get a coaster from would be Intamin. And for Intamin, I really think they would get, a multi-launch coaster. I mean, like, there's just so many different types they could get. I mean, like, I just can't even think off the top of my head what coaster from Intamin they could get, but I really think they would get a multi-launch coaster. Really that's the only coaster from Intamin they could get. So as for where it could go in the park, again, Chocolate Town would be a great place. Also, like, around Trailblazer and where the train is, there's a bunch of space in there that's not being occupied. So that would be a great space to put it. But, probably the most likely place to put it would be Chocolate Town, as for most of these coasters, because there's really not much room other than Chocolate Town at Hershey Park. As for a year this could open, this could definitely open in 2025. I don't think 2024, but this is a coaster I think Hershey Park could get next, as their next coaster. The only thing is, I don't know how, Hershey Parks and Intamin's relationship is, just because of, like, Sky Rush and how unreliable that was, and, Fahrenheit and Storm Runner. But yeah, I definitely think Hershey Park could get a multi-launch coaster as their next coaster. I'd give this, like, a 75% chance of happening, because, Hershey Park needs another launch coaster. Well, they don't need one, but they need one, because, most parks have at least 2 launch coasters, and Hershey Park just has 1, so they definitely could use a launch coaster from Intamin. That's really the only coaster from Intamin I can think of, so we'll just... Okay, guys, the last manufacturer I wanted to talk about is RMC. Obviously, if Hershey Park works with RMC for their next coaster, they're not going to want a hybrid coaster. So it's going to have to be a single rail coaster. So that leaves us with one question then. Is it going to be a Raptor or a T-Rex? In my opinion, I think it's going to be if they get, their next coaster is RMC, a single rail coaster, it would have to be a Raptor, because the T-Rex is designed to be like 300 foot plus, and also, they haven't built the T-Rex, a single T-Rex yet, so, I don't think Hershey Park likes to, build prototypes. But, the T-Rex is designed to be like 300 foot plus, and Hershey Park can only build to like 300 feet. So, in my opinion, it would have to be a Raptor. But, I think it would be cool, because I think Hershey Park would get a custom designed layout. So that would be pretty cool. As for where it would go in the park, again, it would probably have to be Chocolate Town or the spot I talked about earlier, in between Trailblazer and the train. Either of those places would work. And then for the year it would open, again, I'd say it probably could open in 2025. So yeah, that's all of my predictions for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next video.